So many of you reached out after my last video, asking me to go deeper into the world and the mindset of old money. For those of you who might be new here, welcome. I'm Beatrice, and I'm just as fascinated by these hidden histories as you are. It's so easy in our loud, selfie-obsessed society to think of wealth in terms of flashy displays. But the true power of families like the Rockefellers or the Rothschilds was never really in their bank accounts. It was in their psychology. It's an attitude, a set of behaviors, a way of life that feels almost alien today. That's what we're exploring. I'm going to share 5 of these core psychological patterns of true wealth. And the most beautiful part is that anyone can adopt them, because they have nothing to do with your income and everything to do with the person you choose to be. And stay with me, because the 5th one is a simple choice you can make the moment you wake up tomorrow. So let's begin with the absolute foundation, the one principle that separates generational wealth from a lottery winner who goes broke in 5 years. It has nothing to do with investing in stocks and everything to do with how you see time itself. And that view of time is what we call the long view. The ability to think in centuries, not just weekends. This is the first and most fundamental psychological pattern. For those with generational wealth, their fortune isn't a personal slush fund, it's a family heirloom, a trust to be nurtured and passed down. Their guiding question isn't what can I buy this Friday, it's what decisions will keep my family secure for the next 100 years. You see this philosophy reflected in their choices. They don't buy the flashy new Lamborghini that screams for attention today and becomes a maintenance nightmare tomorrow. They buy the vintage Rolls-Royce, a masterpiece of engineering, and pay to have it painstakingly maintained, knowing it will run just as beautifully for their grandchild. It's the same with style. A closet isn't filled with the latest Gucci trend that will feel dated in 6 months. It's built around a timeless Savile Row suit or a classic Chanel jacket that exudes elegance, decade after decade. This isn't about being stingy, it's about discipline, foresight, and a deep respect for permanence. It's about, as the old saying goes, planting trees under whose shade they may never sit. Picture an elderly matriarch standing on a hill overlooking her land. She isn't approving plans for a flashy new pool, but for the reforestation of a barren hillside. She runs a hand over the aged paper of the plan, a quiet, knowing smile on her face, picturing a lush forest she will never walk through, but her great-grandchildren will. That is the feeling, and this mindset is free. It's a choice. You can adopt it by choosing a pre-owned Lexus over a new, gas-guzzling SUV, prioritizing reliability over novelty. You can invest in one well-made coat from J. Crew or Ralph Lauren that will last you 5 years, instead of 5 cheap ones that won't survive a single winter. It completely reframes your relationship with money, shifting the question from "what can I afford?" to "what can I sustain?" But thinking in centuries is abstract. How does this translate to your daily life, right now? The next principle is something you can use within the next 60 seconds, and it's a currency that money literally cannot buy. That currency, the one that holds its value in any room, in any era, is good manners. This brings us to our second principle, the power of poise. Now, this isn't about memorizing which fork to use. It's a philosophy of treating everyone with a baseline of dignity. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you're at a bustling gala, light catching on crystal glasses. Someone, mortified, bumps into you, and a splash of deep crimson wine blooms across your cream silk dress. The knee-jerk reaction, annoyance, frustration. Your dress is ruined, but the response rooted in poise is entirely different. You see the sheer panic on their face, and your first words are, "Oh, please don't worry, it's just a dress. Are you all right?" You diffuse their shame, not amplify your loss. Or consider this. Someone in a conversation makes a comment that's plainly incorrect. The urge to jump in to correct them and display your own knowledge can be overwhelming, but the graceful move is to let it pass, or to gently guide the conversation elsewhere, preserving that person's dignity in front of the group. In both cases, the choice isn't about money, it's about making other people feel seen and respected. It proves the old saying, nothing says class louder than good manners, and nothing screams vulgarity quite like its absence. They are the keys that open doors that wealth alone never can. So you've mastered how you act around others, but the real test of class is how you treat your own success. The next principle is deeply counterintuitive in our culture of sharing everything. The most powerful move is to make your biggest wins invisible. And I know what you might be thinking. That sounds like a contradiction, doesn't it? In a world that screams at us to build a personal brand, to broadcast every success, the idea of hiding your biggest wins feels almost rebellious. Welcome to the third principle, the art of understatement. This is where success is loudest when it's silent. Think of the truly dynastic families, the Gettys or the Rothschilds. Their greatest power has always been their privacy. Their philosophy is simple yet profound. My wealth, my achievements, they are a part of my life, but they do not define my worth as a human being. Now, some might see this privacy as a way to hide from scrutiny, but at its core, it's a profound shift, prioritizing genuine connections over superficial acclaim. Picture two social media feeds. One is a frantic catalogue of exotic trips to Bali and the Amalfi Coast, a highlight reel of consumption. The other, it might show a book they're reading, a view from a quiet hike, or a candid photo from a local charity event. The wealth is there, but it's the backdrop, not the subject. It's an energy you can adopt tonight. At your next gathering, try shifting the conversation away from what you just bought and towards an idea you've been exploring or an artwork that moved you. You'll find the connection is instantly deeper, because true success is a feeling, not a performance. It doesn't need an audience, it just needs to be yours. Okay, being discreet makes sense, it protects you, but the next step seems like a complete contradiction. The truly wealthy don't just hide their money, they actively give it away.
And no, it's not just for the tax breaks. There's a much deeper strategic reason why. That deeper strategic reason is the fourth pillar of the old money mindset, a belief that true wealth is a tool not just for personal comfort, but for societal legacy. This is the principle of philanthropy. For families like the Carnegies, who built over 2,500 public libraries, or the Rockefellers, whose funding helped eradicate diseases, giving wasn't primarily a tax write-off. It was an expression of stewardship, a profound sense of responsibility for the world that granted them their privilege. Success was not just to be enjoyed, but to be multiplied for the good of others.
Today, this same impulse has evolved into what we call impact investing or venture philanthropy. It's about strategically funding the companies and ideas that are building long-term solutions, aiming for both a social and financial return. It's the Carnegie mindset upgraded for the 21st century. But you don't need a foundation with your name on it to adopt this psychology. The spirit of philanthropy is about the consistency of giving, not the size of the check. It's the quiet choice to volunteer an hour a week at a local shelter, or to offer your professional skills pro bono to a cause you believe in. It's about cultivating a habit of contribution.
But even $1 billion philanthropic foundation can crumble if the next generation isn't prepared. This brings us to the final and most important piece of the puzzle.
It's the one asset that underpins everything we've discussed, and without it, all the other principles are worthless. And that asset isn't found in a vault or a stock portfolio. It's found between the pages of a book. It is the mind. The fifth and final psychological pillar of the old money world is a relentless commitment to education. And I don't just mean an Ivy League degree. I mean a lifelong, insatiable curiosity. It's the understanding that a well-stocked library is an infinitely greater asset than a garage full of supercars. Why? Because a strong mind is the only tool that can effectively manage wealth, navigate complexity, and most importantly, pass wisdom down through generations. It's the software that runs the entire operating system of legacy. Stop, I know what you're thinking. Read more, get smarter. Got it. But that's not it. 99% of people miss the actual strategy here. This isn't about looking smart at a dinner party. It's about building a mental fortress. Let me show you what separates the intellectual tourists from the intellectual titans. It begins by choosing curiosity over comfort. It's swapping that drama podcast on your commute for an audiobook that genuinely challenges your perspective. It's starting a simple journaling practice, not to document your day, but to clarify your own thoughts before the world tells you what to think. This isn't about privilege, it's about priority. Knowledge is a wealth that no one can ever take from you. Because as we've just learned, in the age of information, ignorance is a choice. You now have the full 5-part psychological framework. So the only question left is, what are you going to build with it? That is the question, isn't it? And it's a journey best taken together. From planting trees for a future we may never see, to the quiet power of poise under pressure, we've explored how the old money mindset is less about the balance in a bank account and more about the architecture of one's character. It's a philosophy built on legacy, discretion, etiquette, philanthropy, and above all, a commitment to lifelong learning. Now, I would love to turn the conversation over to you. It's your turn to share. Which of these behaviors have you seen a particular person you know exhibit in real life? Perhaps a grandparent, a mentor, or a quiet colleague. Tell us your story in the comments below. I truly cherish reading them. If today's journey resonated with you, please consider showing your support with a like and by subscribing to our channel. We are building a community here at Old Money Luxury, dedicated to these timeless ideas. Thank you so much for being here. Ready for more? Click the video on screen now to watch our next analysis of social class and the fascinating differences in old money versus new money behavior.